What is going on, everyone? My name is Jared Haas, and welcome back into another edition of NASCAR Mailbox. This weekend, we're going to take a look back at the action at Nashville Superspeedway. This first question and main topic of this video comes from Turkey Nugget Official. They asked, how could NASCAR let Kyle Busch restart fourth after having 15 to 20 cars pass him because of an accident? I was upset about it, but it all worked out. Well, Turkey Nugget Official. I'm not a big fan of Kyle Busch, but again, the reason what NASCAR put out of saying that Kyle Busch was trying to avoid the wreck, and that's why they gave him the position, is not a good reason as well. You had Jeff Burton even saying on the broadcast live that that's ridiculous that Kyle Busch got his um, restart position back because he was involved in the accident report. Sure, he didn't hit Ross Chastain, but he did hit the wall trying to avoid the wreck. So he was involved in that caution. He should not have this position back. And you had the hypocrisy even display into the next caution. Daniel Hemrick was involved with that wreck with Kyle Busch and was in the back of the pack. The next caution ensues where you have a driver like Josh Berry, who was involved in the wreck on the NASCAR official report, and he actually restarted ahead of Daniel Hemrick. Daniel Hemrick didn't pit that time. Daniel Hemrick's team was not happy about that situation, which I understand. How does this car that was involved in the wreck spun around on the DVB clock, starting ahead of us? Like I said, because Daniel Hemrick slowed down. So if you want to make sure you keep your spot, just go full bore, go arc of brakes into a wreck, not slow down, which Kyle Busch apparently did, even though he hit the wall, was involved in the wreck, according to NASCAR's official report. And it's like I said, that's the unfortunate thing when you've had all the silliness. There's not really consistent efficiency that's happening. That these, okay, is Kyle Busch involved? He's not. You either are or you're not. Kyle Busch was involved in that wreck. He should not got his spot back, and Daniel Hemrick should have restarted ahead of Josh Berry in that incident. But Kyle Busch went from the luckiest man in Nashville to the luckiest man after Kyle Larson could not get going on the restart, which made Turkey Nugget Official happy, but not Kyle Busch fans. And that left Kyle Busch in a predicament. Now it's been 7 races. Kansas was his last race that he got a top 10 finish. It's quite interesting that Kyle Busch is outside the cut line, 104 points outside. You would need about 15 races to get back in by points, beating Alex Bowman, which is the cut driver right now. And if you look, Kyle Busch versus Alex Bowman, only Kyle Busch has beat Alex Bowman this season 5 times, and Alex Bowman DNF'd in 2 of those races. So it's not going to be a point situation. So Kyle Busch is in a must-win situation. And I think the first thing that needs to happen is he needs to score a top 10 finish. This is about to hit a streak where there's only been 2 times in his career where he's had a longer streak of not having a top 10. The beginning of his career, those first 8 races before he scored a top 10, and then in the summertime of 2022, think about Michigan time. That was a really rough stretch for Kyle Busch as he was transitioning from Joe Gibbs Racing into his trying to find a new ride after not signing a contract with him. And, he really lost his mojo after that. And, Richard Childress Racing, sure, he won 3 races last year, not leading a lot of laps. And from what we've seen from Kyle Busch, when he stomps the field, look out. He is definitely somebody to watch for a championship contender. And you look at the past 2 seasons, 241 laps led last season. 120 of those was at his gateway win. So he had 121 laps led in 35 races. He's had 131 this season, a little bit better, but they haven't been, eye-popping to say the least. Kyle Busch started on the pole at Dover. It led, I believe, 34 laps this season, but it didn't really capitalize it. These finishes that he does do well, they've just been really quiet. And if you look into the next 7 races before the playoffs, he's pretty much in a must-win. What's going to be his best shot? Obviously not Michigan. Really rough track for him. It feels like that and Loudon, with especially this next-gen car, is not a mix for Kyle Busch. I would argue that the Indianapolis Oval is going to be his best shot to get a win. Maybe Daytona. Again, a lot of things can happen on a drafting track. He did finish 3rd at the Atlanta, a drafting type of track. but Indianapolis is going to be his best shot. He's performed well in those recent races, though he doesn't have any data with performing with Richard Childress Racing. The other races he's won there before, but it's been a while since he's won. So, Kyle Busch fans, if you're going to look for your driver to win and get in, I would see the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as his best bet. Thank you very much for watching. As always, like and subscribe. That really helps get our content out there for you guys. And as always, make sure to have a great race weekend. Jared Haas with FrenchStretch.com. Come back soon for more great racing videos. And if you like us, make sure to hit that subscribe button.